research station. And up here on the top of the map, we have our blue Zerg player who is teamless. So I'm going to say, since he's from Brazil, he represents FIFA. It is KingZerg.
Representing the entire FIFA, the entire Football Federation, yes, but
he's the replacement.
He's the replacement guy. But in the bottom spawn position of Vani Research Station, the orange Zerg player going 2-0 versus Trigonal. Guns and Roaches, Baloo.
Yeah, Baloo has gone out with a very early drone scout. KingZerg also doing one, but a bit later. Like, Baloo's was almost immediate. So he wants to see... I think he just wants to make sure that no cheese is going to happen or anything like that. And he will get to see when the spawning pool and extractor are taken, which is very informative.
Yep, the spawning pool and the extractor is pretty much everything you want to see in this early game, whether it's there or what timings. And he's going to come in, and what's he going to see? Oh, will he actually see? Yes, he will see the extractor just barely right when it goes down. And it's a 14 extractor, and the pool, so it's pretty much just a gas kind of build. It's nothing crazy, yeah.
Yeah, I expect he'll still opt to expand, and yeah. Because KingZerg... nothing, even though he took them a lot earlier, by the time you actually get across, he'd be safe taking the expo.
Yeah, there's not going to be too much difference in these two players' builds at the moment. It's just a ZBZ now. This is Vani Research Station, though, so from a couple map pools ago at the moment, and, I mean... what am I trying to say? Swarm hosts. That's the word I was looking for. I haven't said it in so long. Swarm hosts were removed, but yeah. I'd kind of loved it. I've seen in some crazy long ZVZ games a couple swarm hosts being built on Vani just because you can hit that back pocket base really easily from the gold base.
Yeah, definitely. Now, despite Baloo's thing starting out normal, he's not expanding. He's starting to make lings, starting to make a queen, and not going for any sort of expo, but neither is his opponent, who is just throwing down a baneling nest there. So this one, again, shaping up a little strangely, but Baloo will go for the expansion now at a much later time.
Even though he did go for the expansion, that is Baloo, I kind of like the idea of opening normally and then putting on aggression, just so your opponent scouts them, says, okay, it's normal, nothing crazy, and then just drones up themselves. But because the map is so big, Baloo's units will be will be in KingZerg's base a lot later, and so, I mean, there's not going to be that much aggression actually going down. Baloo's got 2 lings, actually 3 lings in KingZerg's base, but it's not going to change it up too much, and this actually, interestingly enough, is going to help KingZerg, because his queen's going to be able to deal with these lings here at home. And now there's going to be very little to defend for Baloo. He even is making a spine crawler.
Now, Baloo is trying to pull something off here. I think he's going to morph these two into banelings as soon as his baneling nests are done. He was able to kind of sneak them in. I think they were technically seen, but they kind of pulled off, and they definitely weren't really noticed. Banelings being morphed in outside of Baloo's main base. Speed just finished. And wants to move away. Oh! KingZerg just... KingZerg just blew up all 4 of his banelings when he only meant to blow up one of them. And down on the other side map when everything was happening here too. So there was kind of simultaneous death and destruction that went bad for KingZerg.
Yeah, that was kind of like, I looked away for a second and just heard banelings going off, so it was like, I assume it was a big hit, and then you're like, nope, suicide and everything.
He had sent one in, and then he detonated all 4 accidentally. Like 2 or 3 were just stationary. So he probably just had them grouped and hit the hockey.
Yeah, and all his lings are coming home now. Both players do have speed, so it's not going to be like we saw with Trigonal kind of laxing on that for a little while. But for now, KingZerg and Baloo are kind of holding back. But actually, interesting enough, Baloo only sending over 4 banelings. Let's see if the same situation happens we saw before with KingZerg. But really with that, I think probably what happened is he was setting the first one just over the lip of the ramp so he could get vision up there and assume there'd be lings and just was going to detonate it on purpose. But just, somehow control clicking. Same thing just happened.
Just lost everything for the lings, or for the banelings there.
And what's great for Baloo is that was the type of poke that wasn't, okay, I'm going to poke and send everything else in. That poke was, I'm going to poke, see if I can scout and maybe get a kill. And it happened to completely work. So he's not going to put anything into pressure. He's just going to say, oh, reset your army count. I don't have to worry about aggression. I can just sit back and macro.
Quite true. Little speedling will dance by these two lings, poke their head up again. Oh, get past one shot from the spine crawler, but still in for the
drone.
scout.
Drone could have killed it.
We can get him. He'll get him far enough to see that basically this base is not mining the natural. No mining there at all. 31 drones to 16 for KingZerg. So definitely behind on economy there. And given that the army size is pretty much the same, that's obviously not great.
Yeah, and the majority of that population difference is it's a how much? It's only a 4 population difference actually. Now that I look, but the majority of that, I mean, KingZerg lost 2 armies essentially.
Yeah,
just blow up, even though it was small amounts, and he's gonna go for another aggressive push. And thankfully, Baloo does not have a Overlord on top of it, but still, in Baloo's main, he's got a Spine Crawler. He's got 4 Banelings, and is sending lings across the map, which are gonna hit to an undefended KingZerg's base. Oh, actually won't quite.
Coming in here now. Banelings do go off on those first lings, but the Spine Crawler will take these Banes out before they can do much damage, splashing on 2 of the gas drones, but of course not killing them.
Yeah, will not quite be able to kill them. Now, just to note, neither of these players have any more upgrades than speed. And now we do see Baloo getting his Spire up, and I mean, doing essentially what he did in the previous games. He says, I'm in a fantastic position. I can just sit back, get Spire, and be in a great position to hit you really hard in the back where you have no defense. But even if he didn't go Spire, he could just push with his fantastic economy. As you mentioned, 41 drones of Baloo to the 33 of KingZerg. And even though they're almost somewhat even now, before literally Baloo had double the drones of KingZerg.
Yeah, for sure. He's the amount of money that he's taken in at this point and been able to invest is a lot larger. I mean, he's a lair. He's getting the Spire while KingZerg hasn't even started a lair. So the investment made into his infrastructure is a lot better, and there the Spire has finished. Now, to KingZerg's credit, he actually has Spore Crawlers down. He's got 4 of them, I think, between his 2 bases. So he'll be pretty well defended against that, but again, it'll be an issue of map control that it's going to be almost impossible to move across the map with mutas that you can't do anything about.
Yeah, precisely. Like, right now, Baloo is getting his 3rd base, and KingZerg's going to want to match that. Obviously, as you mentioned, he's not going to be able to because he'll have 0 map control. And even with the Overlords right now of Baloo, he has fantastic map control. He's got vision almost over the entire map. His mutas are coming out, slaughtering any Overlords, and Baloo's essentially just going to sit back and, I mean, if somehow KingZerg pushes across the map like he is right now, Baloo's going to say, okay, I have 20, 30 seconds to prepare.
And he is aware, like he saw each of these come in, and being a Zerg player, he may be aware as well of just the exact routes, because he sent mutas almost directly to where those 3 were, but on these attack paths. So he'll clear up a decent number of them. Actually only got 2, despite the fact that he was really in the proximity of all 3. Nice Baneling hit. AKA perfect.
Yeah, precisely. I mean,
yeah,
it's for Baloo, all his attacks, everything has almost been perfect. And then his opponent, I mean, sadly, KingZerg did make a couple of mistakes, and that's working out for Baloo perfectly. We just saw a huge round of drones, 11 drones going to his 3rd base. Roach speed, +1 attack for those roaches coming down. And just, again, Baloo, he's got a fantastic macro, and he's going to be put into such a fantastic position from that. It's not even going to be put. He's already in a fantastic position, and he's not even bothering with denying the 3rd base of KingZerg, because he's going to be able to push out in about 20 to 30 seconds with a good, I mean, how many roaches does he have right now? He's got only 7 roaches, but he's going to have 20 to 30 roaches in about that same amount of time, and just going to be able to push into the 3rd base to a defense of 3 Banelings, a couple Spines, maybe a Spore.
Yeah, 2 lings in there do get to see that is what's going on. Once again, a scouting ling making its way into the mineral line of KingZerg. But yeah, now he's aware of everything that is up. The mutas are flying on over. There's a spore crawler now, 2 spore crawlers on the way there, but they may not be finished in time, or at least the second one will not be. No, he stops the mutas anyway, so they will be able to get up.
Yeah, and it looks like actually for KingZerg here, he's deciding to go Hydras, which, yes, that works versus Mutalisks, but on the other hand, you want to be very careful. They're expensive, so you're not going to have quite as many of them as you may want, and then they're very low health, so just the attack of these Mutas is going to bounce and really easily be able to kill them and just go through them. I'd almost say... or actually, yeah, he is getting the +1. I was going to say, I'd almost never say get speed. You want to go for +1. You want to be able to, hopefully, maybe attempt to outrange the mutas. They do have a range 3 attack to the Hydralisks. Look what that is, range 5, almost 6. So with some good stutter stepping with that speed, the Hydralisks may be able to deny these mutas, but not if he cannot get his economy up like he just lost his 4th base.
Yeah, and then ultimately when it comes down to fighting these roaches on the other side, Hydras do great DPS from the back, but you always want like 3 times more roaches up front. Like you need meat shields for them, and currently there's 4 hydras, only 3 roaches, and the rest just in like Ling Bang. So it's a Ling Bane. It's a very like squishy army basically. He's starting to get more roaches out now, but it's just nowhere near the size of his opponent that is moving across the map now with both roach and muta.
These Hydras do have the +1 range now, but there's only 4 of them, and only about 15 roaches now. Oh, very nice. Baloo gets a fantastic concave so far. It's beautiful. He's at 43 roaches to 15. Lots of banelings going in. Hit the 7 or 8 banelings. Attempt to push back Baloo, but Baloo's pushing forward so aggressively. He's got a concave on the queens on the left, a concave even on the right, and is performing almost an M shape, slaughtering everything, pushing forward. GG. Baloo wins on Vonnie from Guns N' Roaches quite kind of decisively.
Hello, we are back here for game number 2 of this series. We are on Moonlight Madness. It's just crazy, the moonlight and the madness on this map. Very different design than some of the others. But down here on the bottom left-hand corner, going for a pool and gas this time, I think yet again, is our teamless Brazilian player. He is KingZerg.
And our rep, or what was I about to say right there? Our hero. I don't even want to say hero though. The man from the USA also. I don't know where I was going down with that train of thought, but in the top right-hand corner, we have the orange Zerg player going pool, no gas, not quite as all in as before. It is Baloo. As I say that, I almost want to say not getting gas is even more all-in, just because if you get speed, maybe you can transition out of it. So I take that back, actually. It could be more all-in if you don't get gas, because you have no way to transition out into speed, into anything, really, past level 1 tech.
Right. Yeah, as long as he's got at least like 9 or 10 drones, he can get both. He could get the queen out, so having the gas does then help. It's skipping the queen that like really kills you. But we got a Baneling Nest coming for KingZerg here. He's trying to pull back to his own mineral line to save things. Spine Crawler is coming down, but it will not cover the pool should it be necessary to defend there. But a queen is coming out, as well as a bunch more lings.
Yeah, a bunch more lings will be coming out. Let's see how many that is. 6 lings will reinforce this one lone ling who almost gave his life in the defense of this lovely hatch. But now there is a queen, as you mentioned, will be able to start getting some injects up and is going to have a lot more lings and the defender's advantage. And now there, the Spine Crawler will be moving into a little bit more defensive position. And the lings of Baloo may actually have to pull back. Right now, it is 5 lings to 9, but with that Spine Crawler with the queen, it's a little too much. But his aggression is actually scaring KingZerg just enough and keeping in his base, containing him just enough that KingZerg can stay on one base while Baloo on the other side of the map. KingZerg knows this. Baloo's just going for his natural and having a good day. I almost feel like he could go for a third. I feel like he almost could make that happen.
He probably could. Yeah, the going in and out, I mean, he knows he's not going to go much farther right now than the front of the ramp. He knows there's a spine back there, knows there's a queen, knows there's banelings. There, he sets one of the banelings off. That's likely something he'll try and attempt. This one pulling away. Go get him. But with no speed, this is harder to do.
Yeah, and one important thing to note for Baloo is he's only now starting Baneling speed, and he does not have normal Ling speed yet. It's still about 40 seconds away, so he's gonna have a little bit of a rough time defending. But on the other hand, he's actually just saying, you know what? Best defense is a fantastic offense, and that is what he's doing. And he's still got a great contain. I'd almost like KingZerg to take his pocket natural. I don't want to say pocket, but his hidden.
Yeah.
Somewhat pocket natural, just because he could defend it. There's only one ramp in, and he could send an overload, which will be able to spot both of those rocks.
Yeah, I think that does make sense. It's a good option here. Like, obviously, Baloo is attempting to represent that, or at least was for a little while, that this was potentially continued aggression. It's clear at this point that it's really not, and that must have expanded or done something behind it. But he will try and deny that drone there as it comes to plant the hatchery.
KingZerg pumping out 10 more Lings. He's being very careful, but there's actually going to be 2 Banelings morphing in for Baloo, and KingZerg just spots that in time, but one Baneling KingZerg goes off, another one may go off. Oh, if it goes off right there, that'd be beautiful. Actually, beautiful kill right there. Gets rid of a couple Lings, but now there's actually, interestingly enough Lings to defend that ramp, and the Spine Crawler will take out a few. KingZerg defends it.
I think he ran his couple Lings in there for no reason at the end when it was about to die. But yeah, Ling's having to pull back for Baloo, and there may be a small counter push by KingZerg here. At least this is almost more of a scouting counter push as opposed to a legitimate full attack. But he will sneak on in. Yeah. Oh, he will catch them a little off guard there. Forces the canceling kill of Banelings and go after these drones. Get him 2.
May get a 3rd or 4th. Oh, he barely will get one more kill on those drones, but he's actually going to be sandwiched right there by the Lings of Baloo, and very nicely enough, Baloo pushes this entire somewhat aggressive force back, and I think KingZerg really, he does not want to send any more Lings over, and interestingly enough, I feel like both...
Yeah. He's making 10 more, yeah.
I feel like both of these players could almost go to a 3rd base, just that kind of hidden base, but neither of the players are doing that. They're both just staying aggressive. Neither player wants to make the one critical mistake of expanding while he should actually be aggressive, but both have very nice scouting on each other. They're both being aggressive enough that they don't need to scout. They poke in, they do some damage, and they see what their opponent is doing. So this is actually faring well for both of them, but on the same hand, like KingZerg, or on the same thing, KingZerg has 600 minerals though in the bank. He could easily take a 3rd if he wanted to, but yeah. I'm guessing it's just going to be a big round of drones.
Yeah, and this time around, the drone counts are a lot more even than we've seen in any of Baloo's games so far, where it, well, as I say that, now it's jumped to 25 to 17. But when I started the sentence, we were at 18. Now
it's the curse of the casters.
Yeah,
like you're like, oh man, no tech at all. Right as he says that,
yeah.
Every single tech finishes.
He just blew up a Baneling into rocks. Don't do that. But he's going after that. The Baloo scout is out there to see that the rocks are being taken down, so he's aware that pathway will now be open, or will eventually be open. And getting a roach warren here, as well as a lair, is KingZerg. And once again with the Spire for Baloo on his end of things.
Yeah, and even though KingZerg, obviously he's trying to be aggressive right now, he's trying to get rid of these rocks, KingZerg can actually see the Baneling on the other side, and then also, for a very long time, I want to mention, KingZerg has not been injecting in his main, he's actually been spreading some creep. So, this could go very interestingly. I'm not really sure what way so far, but KingZerg is not actually going to be able to put on any aggression. He's simply opening up an alternate path for him to move through. And the same thing with Baloo. He's just saying, you know what, I'm going to send 2 Lings down there to the bottom right and see what damage I can get done, just because both these players, they know they're going to be heading into the mid to late game, and they need to start securing better ways to put pressure on their opponent.
There, he pulled him back. There, Baloo had set 1 Baneling just on the other side of the rocks. I think just in case he planned to attack, and it would just blow them all up. Nice wall off here on Baloo's side of things. Banelings and roaches coming in. Everything spotted, of course, by the Overlord here. As the roaches step up and into Spine Crawler range. Unfortunately, the Lings coming back down to try and get us around. Banelings on Baloo's side go off.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
banelings on Baloo's side do go off, and he's gonna have a hard time dealing with these roaches. There's still 4 lings alive, so there's still 4 banelings for KingZerg alive, so he's got to be very careful that Baloo has to be very careful
nice
not to run all his lings in. But nice connection, as you mentioned, and 9 more roaches coming up for KingZerg.
Yep, does once again kind of rebalance the worker count a little, 35 to 31 in favor of Baloo. And neither one of them still taking the third base.
Yeah, and I feel like it's kind of a staple of this map. You either end the game quickly with some sort of crazy back rock timing, but actually KingZerg, you know what's saying? He's the caster curse right there, right as you said, is actually, you know what, I want to take a third. I feel like a third is good, but he's going to have to worry for a little while about Baloo's lings. They're working on the back rocks to his third base. And KingZerg does not have an overlord that's going to be able to spot this. So if these rocks do go down, it's still going to be a while. That could prove potentially game losing for him if he managed to have a huge flood into that third base. But for now, both players essentially stabilizing and pulling back. And this is where Baloo really starts to shine with his macro. So I'd be worried as KingZerg to not give Baloo too much breathing room.
Yeah, and I think KingZerg, who does have an overlord in position to spot when the third was taken by his opponent, as soon as he saw it go down, moved his roaches up a little bit, he may be thinking of diving in the rocks that he's already cleared up or through that area and seeing if he can get a quick cancel off on that. Yeah,
and like game 1, or like at least KingZerg did in game 1, going for those hydras, and it's actually going to be Baloo this time. But also just these roaches are going to be moving under an overlord of Baloo, so it's going to be spotted. And I wanted Baloo's one baneling to be like, what's going on? Like, it wouldn't actually kill anything, but just to see what would happen. And Baloo's going to have to force everything back to defend. And usually enough, KingZerg may just have enough, but Baloo does have roach speed, so he will be able to hunt KingZerg down. And now it's going to 1v1 these roaches. I think it's almost even. Yeah, it was about 10 to 13, 11 to 13, and now KingZerg is even it up. But Baloo's going to be able to reinforce so much quicker. He's got the home field advantage. He's got creep there, and he's got roach speed
and +1 over his opponent. Yeah, he saw with the changeling earlier that the roach army had kind of gathered, and that's when he moved his army from kind of the front line to the back ramp of his main, so he was in position for when he saw with the overlord.
And even if he had not done that, or sorry, even if he did that and there was an attack into his natural or something, and into Baloo's natural, he's still got fantastic overlord spread. He's got great map control.
Yeah, he's going to know everything that's coming.
And it's kind of funny because I feel like KingZerg on his side, normally I'd say KingZerg got decent map control, like not the best, but he knows if an attack's going to be coming to his main. But then you look at KingZerg and it's almost like he just perfectly goes around, or sorry, Baloo's map control perfectly goes around KingZerg. So he's going to see everything coming out. He's almost got him enveloped. And then KingZerg kind of has his own island of map control in the middle of it.
Yeah, now KingZerg, behind all this, has actually pulled up to 63 drones over Baloo's 49 by getting that third base up and running. And Baloo has been putting drones only into gas at that third base. So far, the spire that was put up quite some time ago has not been used.
Yeah, the Spire has not been used by him yet. And you know, that's from Baloo, but Baloo's saying, you know what, I feel like he's kind of opening up his options. Yeah. He's doing that. He's getting Burrow. He's getting tunneling claws for his roaches. That Hydra speed. He's getting a lot of upgrades right now. And he's just got to be careful that it's not too many, that KingZerg may have more gas and should be able to pump out an exponential amount of roaches. But if it doesn't, and I don't think KingZerg honestly will do that, Baloo's going to be in a fantastic position with tunneling claws, with 1/1, with Hydralisk actually speed. This is going really well for Baloo. As we mentioned earlier, it's just, if you let him be, he's going to have a fantastic macro and a fantastic economy and a fantastic upgrade league.
And there's literally no detection anywhere on this map for KingZerg. So at the very least, the first kind of diving attack there by the roaches is going to take him completely off guard, and it may be that the first attack is the last attack if he does it well enough. Roaches coming in here to the third base, though. The whole army was a bit out of position. He could snipe this quickly if he wants, and he will attempt to target fire it down. Will he be able to actually get out of here, though?
No, he's
would
being
literally. He's corralled. Like technically, this is blocked. Like there's rocks there. But he
that's
could,
what I was gonna say.
Yeah, he could kind of use high ground to his advantage, but there's vision.
Yeah.
So he kind of got himself trapped here. But if he trades okay, which he's doing, at a reasonable level, like their supplies are still even throughout this. And so about a 20 supply advantage at the end of that for Baloo, but the base is gone. Whereas KingZerg is getting his 4th, although he's now being attacked at his 3rd from the burrowed roaches.
Yeah, and Baloo is having to defend his natural, but there wasn't quite enough roaches for KingZerg actually attacking his natural, and Baloo will have to pull back from the 3rd base of KingZerg, but again, his entire army's alive, and he's in a fantastic position. There's no vision at all, as you mentioned, for KingZerg, only now morphing in, and I just like to say it was kind of funny, because he literally did almost corral him. Like, that's the exact word I was thinking when that happened. I was like, oh, this is great, but now Baloo is moving across the map. There's a couple, I think there was a couple changes that went. But now Baloo is just completely cleaning up all possible creep, and I almost feel like he should keep that. He's being the aggressive one. He's got tunneling claws. He's got roaches hitting all over the place. He should keep that creep and just be super speedy.
Yeah, an absolute ton of drones have just walked into these roaches over on the right-hand side, and simultaneously Baloo attacking over on the left into the natural base. A spine crawler there gets taken down immediately, and Hydras are going to take out most of these overlords, which will be a bit of an issue. The natural base does fall as the army of KingZerg is able to come back on side.
Yeah, and KingZerg literally pulled his entire army to deal with 8 roaches, which, as we were saying, Baloo he was able to push in to the natural base and slaughter it. Now, there is the 4th base, but it's a little bit hidden right now, and honestly, these drones are not going to be able to get there unless we're going to see some crazy overlord dropping skills. But for now, Baloo's got a chokehold on KingZerg and is not on a 4th base yet, but as we've said, he's got fantastic map control across the map, and he's even he's going up to 3-3. Currently, both players are at 2-2, but Baloo's 3-3 is going to be so much quicker. He's even getting some Vipers, so he's going to be able to blinding cloud whatever he needs to.
Baloo loses this whole little group will lose this whole group over on the left-hand side of the map as it tried to sneak in the back, but KingZerg was ready to do burrow in the mineral line, and hopefully he doesn't think that they're empty. No, he doesn't, at least.
Yep, this time KingZerg learns a little, doesn't quite pull his entire army, and now KingZerg is getting Hive, which...
he's going up the ramp. There's a pre-made concave up there, and we'll pull back, which is a good call. And he actually has to pull back up farther than this. Yeah. He's still got too many roaches trapped behind here, and there's just so much more for Baloo that he is going to shred this very cost efficiently over his opponent.
Yeah, at first I was worried for Baloo right there. He moved down the ramp into a seemingly concave, but that's not the actual fact. Natural base goes down. Now KingZerg is desperately trying to push out roaches. He's got 26 roaches, or 26 actually, completely even, but now 4 Vipers out of the map, a couple Hydras. That's just too much DPS and too much just negation of DPS with those Vipers. It's going to come down very soon.
Yeah, exactly. And this 4th base that was up there has never done anything. It hasn't at all paid for itself. So the natural continuing to go down kind of cancels out the 3rd that was killed a bit earlier, and Baloo is just in the driver's seat.
KingZerg does a little bit of a move command up the ramp. It takes a lot of damage. And like you were saying, that 4th base is not, you can't use it. If you were Protoss, you could recall back into it with some probes. If you were Terran, you could either mule or have crazy medevac drops. But as Zerg, when you have another Zerg on your throat, stepping on your throat, you can't actually capitalize off that. You might as well take a ballsy 3rd instead of a hidden 3rd.
Yeah.
4th.
Yeah, and he's not even using the drones that are there. I think that was a straight kill as well, as opposed to a cancel. Baloo has a huge bank on him, and I think he's pushing in for the last moments, and there is GG called. Very well played once again by Baloo, but KingZerg was actually looked almost completely down and out early and really clawed his way back into the game, and then eventually lost once things developed into a much higher macro position.
Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to support the ASL by hitting the button now.